Hello, this is Javier, and I'm really excited to be with you on another quick class on demand here. That's, in my opinion, the most important class of all, simply because it has a lot to do with your activity and how to track it. This is a short class like most of our on demand classes, so please pay attention as we kick this off. First of all, a few quotes to live by as it relates to this. There's a great quote that says, "Where performance is measured, performance improves." Most people just truly don't have any idea of where their activity level lies at any given time during the day, during the week, or even during the month, and this will help you do that. Also, knowledge does not create activity. Activity creates knowledge. Don't focus too much on being book smart and focus more on getting out there and putting into practice that which we already know. And so, again, don't focus too much on learning, focus more on doing. And then finally, on this slide, people's lives are a direct reflection of the expectations of their peer group. My challenge to you is to run a team and build a business where it's expected for everybody to do their part in order to succeed. Now let me continue this with a couple of slides in regards to some quotes and so on. Now this one says that accountability is a personal choice to demonstrate the ownership necessary for achieving exceptional results. You have to see it, own it, solve it, and do it. Also, accountability breeds responsibility. You got to learn to take ownership of your business. It's your business. It's not your uplines or your downlines or your sidelines' business. It's yours, so therefore you must take ownership. And also here, accountability. When accountability is inconsistent in application, it becomes nothing more than thinly veiled blame gaming. And also, if you could kick the person in the pants responsible for most of your troubles, you wouldn't sit for a month. And of course, referring that most of the time, the biggest problem we have is us, and it's very, very true. And finally, here we have about accountability. It is not only what we do, but also what we do not do for which we are accountable. And that's the whole essence of this class, to help you get on track by leveraging the power of this. Now keep in mind that as it relates to intentions, most people intend to prospect, most people intend to submit business, they intend to build a team, they intend to make money, and most people of course intend to win, but unfortunately not everybody does. And the number one reason, by far, in all my years here at FFS and in this type of business, I can tell you that the number one reason people don't hit their, quote, intended goals is because most people lack congruency between their intentions and their actions. In other words, here's you, which is the yellow circle, and then you got your thoughts or your intentions, and on the right, you have your actions. And they all have to be congruent. They all have to match up. They all have to flow together, if you would. It's not enough to desire something, to want something, to intend to do something. At some point, we got to get our butt in gear and go out there and do it. The way we do it here is by following this, what's called the daily tracker. Daily activity tracker sheet is something that will help you stay on target, identify what you intend to do, and then assess how well you hit your goal, or maybe you didn't hit the goal, but at least be aware of where you stand at any given time. Now, the daily activity tracker is something you fill out every day. One sheet for each day of the week, of the month, or each day you intend to be productive in the business. The nice thing about our business is that we don't have quotas. Hopefully you have some expectations for yourself, but if you want to work this 3 days a week, then do so. 5 days a week, do so. 1 day a week, that's okay also, but at least do it with a purpose. Don't just simply run around aimlessly like most people. Don't confuse motion with progress. Don't be out there thinking you're being productive when in reality you're just wasting your time. And again, let's go ahead and get into this. Now, as you can see, the first page is, like I said, the daily activity tracker, which you complete once per day. The second sheet is the monthly activity tracker. What you do is you complete only one of these sheets for any given month, and then you're going to plot the results from here. And I'll show you here in just 1 second. Let's go ahead and zoom in on the daily activity tracker, which is what you're going to complete every single day. It starts with your name at the top, today's date, or the date that you're tracking the activity for. And then on the left, you'll see a lot of the activities that relate to results in our business. We're talking about dialing people. As you can see, dials. You got contacts made, appointments set, hours spent canvassing, IUL DVDs that you dropped off to potential clients, product presentations, three-way calls, and it continues with the bump into. So how many people did you bump into today that you actually make contact with? Then we got BOP shown, recruit signups for your downline because you're helping them build their team. Also the applications you submitted at 100%, which is personal production. And we also have a category for applications submitted, splits, or training cells. And then the last one is personal development, which you have to learn to work on yourself every single day. And then the last one is an update to your sponsor or your upline, just touching base with them, especially during your first month. And my recommendation is every month, just to touch base to, again, maintain that accountability partner that all of us need. So I'm going to back up just a little bit and go over this more on a one-on-one basis. The way this works is very simple. First of all, you start off with where it says goal, and you're going to set a goal every morning as to what you're going to achieve that day. Personally, I complete this the night before, or you can do it the morning of the day. So my goal is usually to call at least 20 people a day. So I write down 20. Contacts, I want to make at least 3 contacts per day. I want to set at least 3 appointments a day. Now, the appointment doesn't matter if they're for recruiting purposes, production, doesn't matter. These are just appointments that you're going to set. And you'll see in parentheses also the value of these activities. Some of them are 1 point, some are 3, some are 5, and of course some are even 10 points, which I will cover here in the next slide. So as you can see here, you want to make sure that before you go out there, you have an idea of what you intend to do. Now, there are days when I work in the office catching up on things, and so therefore, a lot of these are zeros. My goals are 0 for, let's just say, product presentations, because I'm not going to be out in the field. Well, then put a 0, but you better put a lot of calls, and so on. And then as you can see, it continues to the second page. And so what happens is, I'm going to back up a little bit. I'm going to use dials. We'll make it easy. My goal is to dial 20 people today. I'm going to put 20 as my goal. And then as I call these people, I'm going to circle a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, whatever the number of calls. And then at the end of the day, I'm going to go ahead and tally up how many calls I made. So in this example, let's just say my goal was 20, but I hit 10. Well, that's good. 10, and then I look at the point value for dials, which is 1 point. So 1 times 10 is 10, which would go on the right-hand side under the results column. Let's just say we're talking about contacts made. I want to make, let's just say 5 contacts today, and I've circled 1, 2, but I only make 3. All right, then 3 times 3 is 9. So the 9 would go in the results column. And then what you simply do, at the end of the day, you scroll down, you add up all your points, and then you're going to go to your monthly activity tracker sheet, and then you're going to plot it according to the day of the month where you see at the top where it says day of the month. So it's the 1st. If you're starting this on the 1st, we'll start on the 1st. If you're starting on the 20th, well, then start on the 20th. The point is that we need to see a baseline. You need to visually see where it is that you're spending the bulk of your time, and if the time you're spending is being worthwhile the effort. And so again, all you're going to do is put a little X, put a little X, put a little X in every single box where it corresponds, and then at the end of the month, we're just going to go ahead and connect the dots or connect the X's, and it'll show you a graph of where you stand at any given time. So as you can see, it's broken down into sections. The first section at the top is the high income zone, and that's where almost all of us need to be. Below that one is the fast track zone. So again, it's good. You're not exactly at the highest level, but you're up there. Below that, we have the fast track zone. The healthy growth, average, and then below that, you're kind of in trouble. If you're hitting the numbers below that, as you can see, it says get coaching from your upline. Your problem is most likely consistency and lack of focus. Make it your goal to invite 10 new people per day to any event. And then below that, of course, you're really in trouble, where it says work on developing your goals and your vision. They're not motivating you. You lack confidence and belief. Plug into webinars, trainings, and weekly events. Don't blame the company, your upline, or lack of warm market. This is really, really good because I'm telling you, it's going to tell you exactly where you stand at any given time. Now, here's my daily activity tracker for yesterday before I recorded this class. And as you can see on the left-hand side, my goal was to go out there and have 20 dials for the day. I wanted to have 3 contacts made. I wanted to have 3 appointments. I wanted to set 3 appointments. But I knew I wasn't going to be doing any canvassing that day, so that's okay. I put a 0. IULs, I was not going to go drop off any IUL DVDs, so there's another 0. And product presentations, I wanted to do 2. I wanted to do 2 3-way calls. And that's with clients, potential associates. It doesn't matter. 3-way calls are a very efficient way of running your business. I wanted to do 5 bump intos when I just bump into somebody. And then as you can see, I wanted to show 2 BOPs. BOP meaning that I'm trying to recruit somebody. Recruit signups, I didn't have any for that day direct to me, but I wanted to help somebody build their team, so I had a 1 down there. An app submitted, which is 0. I didn't have anything on my calendar that was going to lead to that. The same thing with app submitted for my downline. But I did, of course, do my 30 minutes of personal development for the day. And that was just about it. Now, as you can see, if you look at the dials, my goal was 20, but I ended up with only 15. So they're worth only 1 point each, so I put a 15 all the way to the right. I wanted to make 3 contacts, but I only did, I did the 3. So 3 times 3, that's 9. In regards to the appointment set, my goal was to set 3 appointments for the day. I only set 2, so that's 6 points. And on and on and on. So what happens is I just simply go to the bottom and add up my score, which is in this case 61, 6-1. Now, I also take notes on the bottom of just some of the things that I did to refresh my memory at any given time. I did a BOP for a one-on-one with a gentleman by the name of Roman, who was coming on board. I also had a book at the room for some trainings for Michael Hatter and his team. I also spoke with Ramos, one of my downlines, in regards to a check that we had to update for the client so that his IUL wouldn't lapse. And that's just a couple of things. I worked on the website. I was at the Santa Ana School Police Officers Association union meeting, and I presented there for Kathy and Stan. Also, as you can see, I went ahead and booked a couple of appointments. One of them was with a gentleman by the name of Joel, another leader from San Diego. And so, again, not everything I did, but if I needed to refresh my memory on that particular day, there are some notes down there. And then all I simply would do is 61 was my score. I would just come in here and plot it, which would put me just barely in the high income zone. Now understand that some of these things you're not going to do every day and you're not intended to do forever. When you prospect once or twice or canvas once or twice a week, that'll give you all the appointments for the rest of the week. So I'm not going to go out there and canvas anymore because I got what I wanted, which was, of course, business, applications to submit. The same thing for BOPs, the same thing for recruits, and so on. So depending on where you stand, again, you can adjust your calendar accordingly. Now, so that would put me at a 61, which is just barely into the high income zone. So I want to make sure that I maintain that kind of activity. But if I go back, which I am going to go back here, you'll notice that the big points come from things like signing up a recruit. That's 10 points. I mean, that's a lot of points. Or submitting an application with no splits, that's 10 points as well. You submit an application as a split, that's 3 points. And so as you can see, you want to stick to the things that generate the most points because that's where the money lies. If you notice, canvassing, very simple, it's 5 points per hour. So if you go out there and distribute, you're working maybe churches or you're working, we've got people that are out there putting flyers on cars for the $1 million baby, whatever the case might be, stick to the things that generate the most points. If you're just sitting at home making 20 calls a day and you think you had a productive day, well, let me tell you, you did not. You want to make sure, again, you stick to things that matter. Now, here we have one for one of our agents. His name is, as you can see at the top, I Am Struggling. And I am struggling, as you can tell, is, first of all, not doing enough. That's not really doing a whole lot. But the problem is not that he's not doing something every day, because you don't have to do something every day, which I would recommend to do something a good portion of the week. But he's concentrating on very low-grade type of activity. He's calling maybe 6 people a day every couple of days. He's making 2 calls a day every couple of days. He could do that all he wants. It's not going to mean a whole lot, and that's why this guy is struggling. You can see as we zero in, he connects the, first of all, you plot the excess on the days that you did something, and you plot your score, and then you just connect them to give yourself a more visual as to where you stand. So I would tell this person, look, we need to really focus, man, on more results-oriented type of activities, and that would be any of the things that I mentioned earlier. And as you can see, this is not going to end good for this person, and he could be here with us for 1 month or 10 years. It won't change a thing until he changes what he is doing. Now over here we have another associate. This one, his name is I Am Succeeding. And as you can tell, this person's, in the fast track. I mean, that's good. And if you notice, the higher points came towards the middle of the month, and that's because he planted a lot of the seeds in the beginning that propelled him with higher points, higher points on some of the activities that he's generating and the results that he's putting on the board without having to spend too much time on the other stuff. And so again, very simple but very powerful, that will immediately tell you where your business stands at any given time. Personally, I like to strategize with people all day long. All I ask is they bring this sheet with them when we strategize, so we can see how we can, again, adjust what you're doing to take you to the next level of success. Unfortunately, if somebody doesn't have this with them, I don't see them because it tells me that the problem is them. And again, we cannot assess someone's business if we don't know where they've been. And that's exactly why this is so crucial for you and for your entire team. It's pretty simple. If you have any questions, as always, email me, leaderinaction@gmail.com. And I hope that you truly, again, print these sheets out. You need the monthly just once a month, and the daily tracker every day that you intend to be productive in our business, in your business, I should say. Until then, I wish you nothing but success. Again, questions, comments, concerns, shoot me an email. There's my address, and I wish you nothing but the success that you deserve as long as you do your part. Thank you so much.